we're going to be in Psalms 40 tonight, the 40th Psalm. And I looked at this and I said, this one just hits me in the heart, and we probably won't get all the way through it tonight, but we'll get some of it. Psalm 40, and in mine it's called My Help and My Deliverer. To the choir master, a psalm of David. I waited patiently for the Lord. He inclined to me and heard my cry. He drew me up from the pit of destruction, out of the miry bog, and set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. What a beautiful thought. Of course, it's hard for us because to start this off, he says, I waited patiently. We're not very good at that. But you know, really, if you want the Lord to help you, you have to slow down and you have to say, I've got to be patient and wait for him to answer. But to me, the real thing is here, it goes, he inclined to me and heard my cry. David may be waiting patiently, but he's not shutting up. You know, he's waiting, but he's letting his feelings be known, but he inclined to me. Now, we would probably say he turned his ear to me. Well, we have a lot of people here who either wear these hearing aids or don't wear them and should. But if you've lived with any of us, you know that we may not hear you unless we turn our head, unless we incline that good ear toward you. We have to do that. And he says that God turned to make sure he could hear him well. You know, a lot of times people say, well, I'm not sure if God hears me. He turns his head and inclines it so that he can hear you. He wants to hear you. To me, this is a song of the 10th leper. This is a kind of a song that the 10th leper would sing, the one who came back to thank Jesus. Most of us, if we're going to be honest, can say that he drew me up from the pit of destruction, out of the miry bog, and set our feet on a rock. Most of us, he's done that once or twice. And some of us who've made more mistakes than others, he's had to do it more than once or twice. But instead of just forgetting it and going, oh, okay, you know, I'm a child of God, that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to get me out of these things. David is thankful. He remembers what God did. There's the old story of the man whose house is in a flood in the hurricane, and as the floodwaters start to rise, the last pickup truck drives by and says, hey, mister, you want to get out of here? And he says, nope, I prayed to God. God's going to take care of me. So the water rises up to the level of the windows, the top of the windows. And so he gets up on the second floor looking out, and a boat comes by. Hey, mister, jump in the boat. Nope, I prayed to God. He's going to take care of me. So water rises. He's sitting on the top of the house. A helicopter came by. And he goes, "Hey, mister, I got a rope. Come on, let's go." I'm praying to God he'll take care of me. And after a while, he said, "God, why haven't you saved me?" And he heard the voice from heaven saying, "I sent you a pickup truck, a boat, and a helicopter. What do you want?" Just because God has never sent an angel down to grab you by the hand out of the miry pit doesn't mean he didn't take you out of the miry pit. God uses hands and feet on this world to do his will. Set my feet upon a rock, making my steps secure. He put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. If you want to be happy, you should sing. Any type of song can make you happy. Even singing the blues can make you happy. But remember to let the Lord put a new song in your heart. A song of praise to him. Sing about how happy he makes you. Let people know. That's one of the things that I really admire about Grant. God has given him a great voice. And he could use that voice just to his own advantage. But he opens his mouth and sings a song of praise to the Lord and helps this entire congregation and keeps us happy. You know, and that's the thing is, some of us are better than others. But we should learn a few songs that every once in a while we sing instead of our secular songs. There ought to be, sometimes we ought to be able to just look around and sing the old rugged cross. Or the one I sing sometimes that makes me feel good is, "Soon and very soon we are going to see the King." That one means something to me. I have an appointment with the King. I don't know what it is, but it's soon. It's going to be very soon. And that makes me happy. When we were getting ready to see Herman's Hermits, every day that got closer, I got happier. When we're getting ready to go to Jamaica, every day we get closer, I get happier. Well, shouldn't we do that with God? Soon and very soon, we're going to go see the King. There's no crying there. And there's no dying there. We're going to see the King. Many will see and fear and put their trust in the Lord. To me, this is a really important thing. It follows right after, he got me up out of the pit, I'm going to sing a new song of praise, and he goes, many will see and fear. They're going to know who God is because of what he did for me. But if you don't let people know what God did for you, if you don't give him the credit, they'll never see and fear. But when you say, look at what God has done for me, look at the hole he got me out of, and you have that song of praise, which sometimes doesn't even have to come out of your mouth. You can have a smile on your face, and people go, what happened? Well, boy, God's sure been good. People will see and fear. We're not going to get people inside this building to hear the word of the Lord until they see the joy of the Lord on your faces in the community. They're not going to come in to hear the word until they see it in your lives. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, who does not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after a lie. You have blessings when you make the Lord your trust. You can trust in a lot of things, but there's nothing in the history of mankind that has ever not failed except for God Almighty. The greatest leaders on the face of the earth have made mistakes and have let their people down. The best people in the world have hurt the ones that they love. It happens. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, who does not turn to the proud, to those who go astray after a lie. You know, well, how do you know it's a lie? If it's not in here, it's a lie. Real simple. If you're going after anything that isn't in this book, in that highway that God has laid out for us, you're following somebody who's telling a lie. You have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds and your thoughts toward us. He said, you didn't just do things one time, Lord. You've done it many times. You multiplied the wondrous deeds. I know that if you don't pay attention to the commas there, you get confused. You have multiplied, O Lord my God, your wondrous deeds. Those two commas mean that you put the two things on the other side of the commas together. And it's, you have multiplied your wondrous deeds and your thoughts toward us, O Lord my God. That's an easier way to understand what it says there. None can compare with you. I will proclaim and tell of them, yet they are more than can be told. One of the things that I love best about the model prayer is give us this day our daily bread. I really like that phraseology. Didn't say, make sure I can take care of myself and get food, Lord. It said, give us this day our daily bread. From a worldly standpoint, there has not been a day since I grew up that somebody has given me my daily bread. I have been like Adam and earned my bread with the sweat of my brow. But the fact is, doesn't matter how much I sweated, doesn't matter how much I use my head, doesn't how much I can take credit for feeding myself and clothing myself. The fact is, the Lord did it. He gave me the strength to sweat, to earn that. He did that. And so if we were ever to sit down and write all the things the Lord has done for us, it's more than could be told. Sacrifice and offering you have not desired, but you have given me an open ear. Burnt offering and sin offering you have not required. This is the Old Testament. God said, give me sacrifices, give me offerings. He demanded it. But he demanded that of people he loved. He didn't say, well, I'll love you if. I'll love you if. He said, that's not it. He loved me, and he says, I don't love you because of the sacrifices and the offerings. I don't love you because you keep my word better than anybody else. He goes, then I said, behold, I have come. In the scroll of the book it is written of me. I desire to do your will, O my God. Your law is within my heart. I have told the glad news of deliverance in the great congregation. Behold, I have not restrained my lips. I desire to do your will. I want to do what you want me to do. I want to do those sacrifices. I want to do those offerings. I want to do those things. And that's one of the things that's missing in modern Christianity. We have a lot of have to and not a lot of want to. A lot of have to. Well, I have to go to church. No, you don't have to. There are going to be people in heaven who didn't make every Sunday night. There'll be people in heaven who didn't make a lot of Sunday nights. But they had a want to. Sometimes our want to doesn't always equal does. But that want to, that's what God wants. As you know, O Lord, I have not hidden your deliverance within my heart. I have spoken of your faithfulness and your salvation. I have not concealed your steadfast love and your faithfulness from the great congregation. God wants us to be like David and let people know how good God is to us. I think sometimes we miss opportunities because when we see somebody and we want them to hear the gospel, the first thing we do is bring out the 5 steps and we start telling them this without saying, God is so good. God's been good to me. God has done. What do they care about salvation until they know what it means, until they know what it means to you? And that's one thing I've always said is, it really amazes me. I think God made a mistake. Instead of being the Almighty Father, he should have said, I am the car dealer on high. Because I have never once seen any one of us that has got a new car that didn't brag about that car, show that car to everybody, and tell them just how wonderful it is. Isn't that sad that we treat our cars and the car dealers better than we treat God? That we talk more about that new car than we do about the new life? This is one of those Psalms that I think we should read often to remind us how good God is and how we should just be brimming over with that. And I think that's enough for tonight. Just remember, did you make it here to church tonight without a flat tire? Thank the good Lord. Did you walk in from the car without tripping and falling on your face? Thank you. Well, what if I did fall down on my face? Did you break a bone? Oh, thank you. But I did break a bone. Did you break all of them? Understand how much God has done for us because he loves us. And be like that song we sing. If you're happy and you know it, let your face show it. You can come now as we stand and as we sing if you need to answer in a public way.